Welcome back to another episode of the Rec Center Podcast. I'm Kenny Edwards, joined with my co-host Lorenzo Parham. Man, we got a much anticipated guest today.
I can, man. I'm excited. This episode will be the first Rec Center hot takes episode, right? We gonna call this hot takes, right? Our man, shout out to our guest Terriel Byrd, man, Byrd Smith, man. Out of McClimb. It's been a guest, been a fan of the show since we started this thing, man. Wanting to tell his story, man. So we gonna give him a chance to tell his story. This is our first guest of the new season, man. So shout out to Byrd. He here to set it on fire. We're gonna ask him about a lot of things, man. A lot of things, a lot of comments, a lot of posts, and a lot of things that's been said, right? Established athlete out of McClimate High School. I played with him over at Laney College, man. So Byrd, welcome to the show, man.
My guy, what's happening with you guys, man?
Hey man, we good, man. Hey man, we happy you got on, man. To say a lot of things that you've been saying. Hey, Byrd, but I'm gonna let you know, we not holding back. You getting the old interview. You getting the underrated, overrated.
That's what I'm talking about.
You getting the star bench cut. You getting everything in this episode. You getting it all.
Good, because my thing is, I don't want anybody to take offense by what I'm saying, but it's just my point of view.
No.
They're going to take offense. They're going to take offense.
Ain't nobody here
but us. Give a shit. You just can't give a shit. They gonna take offense.
No. Ain't nobody here but us. And as you can see, we hope people don't take offense either, because we could put out a list. And because a person is not on a list that we put out, we're not doing it to be offended to anybody. It's our opinion. It's an opinion-based list. So there's no offense. We all came through the OAL. We talked about what the thick skin it took to play in that league, man. So no offense being taken from no angles. I hope anybody you throw any shots at on here, don't take
they coming,
because they would definitely they'd definitely be able to come and say their piece as well, man. So let's jump right into it. So Byrd, we saw something where you said, you didn't play youth football growing up. You didn't do these youth sports things, right? What rec center did you grow up playing at?
Well, the thing is, I was split between mom and pop. So in the summers, I was with my pops, and in the school year, I was with my moms. So I played predominantly at Arroyo Park.
Okay.
And most people don't know that. I played for Manzanita when we moved back to the town. I played at Manzanita with Eddie and those guys and JR and we were those guys. And I played there for like 2-3 years. But my rec center was at Arroyo Park.
Okay.
And
let me say that. Let me make a question of this, man, because I'm a Manzanita Center kid myself, man. And tell me, what was the difference? Because you kind of like way tried to shoot Manzanita Center down and big up the Arroyo Park thing, right?
Absolutely.
What's the big difference between the two rec centers, between that Arroyo Park and that Manzanita?
Well, Manzanita is just a center. Arroyo's a park. So you got full basketball courts, you got baseball courts. Everybody can come and be around that. At Manzanita, you got the TOT. If you don't live in that area, you might as well not even go over there. So you get a lot of kids that get pushed out to different areas. Like growing up, I lived across the street from San Antonio Park. So it came full circle because DeMarco was my park center manager.
Okay.
And then he ended up being my basketball coach at Manzanita. But I learned everything I did for rec center was at Arroyo, and there's nothing against Manzanita, but in Manzanita, by the time you're 12, you're on the corner. You know how that go.
Absolutely.
You got guys like JR, who was one of the best, had feet as a big man, could go and battle anybody. And if he'd play sports, he'd probably make the league. Yeah. But that's just my opinion, because I hadn't seen nothing like that growing up. Like 6'4", could move, could run, could play every sport.
I give a good story about Jay. Jay is an Allen Temple kid, right? Jay, some people don't know, Jay played baseball. He was on the team, Tavaro, White Mike, everybody, and Jay was bashing. But it's like you said, man, it was short-lived, man. Once we turned 13 or 14, our center is the turf. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because my uncle was one of those guys from the Dubs. He was one of them guys, and when he had his funeral, because he drowned at Lake Berryessa on a jet ski, the whole Twomps came out. And I'm talking about the Twomps. They all came out. was at the funeral, everything. So
Okay.
it was love there. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask
But
you this, right? So playing being at a Royal Park, and we had a few of Royal Park guests on here, man. We had Keith, shout out to Keith. We had
right.
we ever had the Vital brothers on here, man, Gino and Mario, man. When did you get indoctrinated into playing organized sports? When did that start for you? Did it start? Did you play youth
I played
baseball?
I played youth baseball in El Cajon.
Oh,
So I played down in El Cajon because my stepfather was in the Navy. So he was stationed in San Diego. Now
okay.
I played 2 seasons out there, and I was one of them kids. I just like to play baseball because I played with Eugene Singletary, my cousin. We used to play strikeout all the time. So I was playing with the older kids, strikeout all the time.
Oh, let me back this up. Eugene Singletary, dark skin Eugene.
Yeah, he played Castlemont.
He played, but before Castlemont, he played
He
for
played Fudging.
Fudging. Yeah,
Right,
Eugene. He's my age. He's my age. Okay,
right.
Eugene. Shout out to Gene. Okay.
So I'm going down to El Cajon and I'm playing with all the goons in Oakland. We playing baseball every day. That's what we did. We played baseball. Now I'm going down there and I'm playing with the older kids. I go down there and I'm playing with these kids my age, and I'm like, oh, they throwing too slow. And I didn't have any money to play, but I went to a practice and I asked coach, hey, can I practice with you guys? He said, yeah, you'll bat last. And the first 2 hits I hit, they stopped the practice. It's like, where you live? I stay around the corner. I don't have money to play. Don't worry about that. That's what coach told me. And that's how I got started playing.
Okay. But then when you came back up here, what round? What give us the year? Like what grade you in when you came back up here?
When I came back up here permanently, it was end of fifth grade.
Okay, so that's like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And 10,
So
11 years old. Okay.
I end of fifth grade, going into sixth grade.
Okay, so you 11, 12, 11, 12.
11, 12. Because
Okay.
I came back from Illinois. Because I was in Illinois and I was playing out in the city I lived in. You can play, if you're old enough, you can practice with the high school team.
Okay.
And all my cousins played on the high school team, so I practiced with them. You can't play tackle football in the city I was in until you're 11 years old. So you can line up and pass, but you playing flag. That's how they had it.
Wow.
So it was different. I'm like, okay, but I'm one of the black kids in the town. So, hey, you're going over there to play with the bigger guys. And that's what I did. So when I came back, I just happened to see a Royal Park. I'm going to Webster. My aunt stayed across the street to go to Webster. And I see all these kids practicing. I was like, that's when they had Webster and then they had a Royal. They had 2 different teams. So I went to practice at Webster. I'm like, oh, this is unorganized. And then I saw Gino and them practicing on the big field. So I walk over there after that practice. I was like, Bruce Taylor, shout out to BT and Steve Webster. Hey, you guys taking players? Yeah, come on, line up. I could catch, I could run, I could block, I could do everything. They put me at DN. Now on that team, that whole team that I was on, you had Tamarcus Tyson, Jamal Jones, Ramon Sanders. Basically, most of the Skyline guys, Red, Gennaro, they all played on the team. So we were the first team.
This is still flag we talking, right? Still flag?
This still flag when I got back because that team, we had Kamari Nelson. He played on the team, Jerry Nichols. So we had a nice squad. We ended up going to the citywide championship. And we lose to Lamar Murphy, who threw a touchdown to himself. I've never seen it before.
What do you mean? I'm
playing DN. I rush. He takes a shotgun snap. He throws the ball and takes off running. So we're all looking up. You can ask Gino. I'm not lying.
I need to see this.
I just saw from the 2-yard line or what?
No. It was like midfield. So he throws it up. and that Brookfield team had Fritz and White Mike. They had a nice squad. We didn't expect him to get there. So he backs up and throws it and takes off running. And Ramon Sanders is waiting for it to come down to pick it off, and then Lamar Murphy jumps up and catches it over him and runs into the end zone. I've never seen nothing like that before in my life.
Nobody never seen nothing like that before, T-Byrd.
You can
anything with
anything I tell you.
I see it on Instagram when dude ran through the house. Caught it in the backyard.
If I'm telling you this, it's an actual account. You can fact check me. You can ask Gino.
I believe it. I believe it.
No,
I believe one of them coaches be like, "Hey, just throw it up, go get it." It's probably the best shot. Best shot.
I'm telling you, Lamar Murphy. Growing up, Lamar Murphy was the fastest kid that we knew.
Oh yeah,
that we knew. Everybody wanted to be faster than Lamar, and nobody was.
Well, let me ask you this, T-Byrd. you leave, you go into middle school. Now you're middle school, you have Frick, right? You go to Frick, right?
Yep, I'm at Frick.
You
Yep.
have Frick. Now coming out of Frick, 8th grade, you going into the 9th grade, right? You decide to go. No, at this time,
If Frick still had ninth grade.
School, is 9th grade still in junior high or is it in high
Yeah,
school?
ninth grade. Ninth grade still in junior high school.
Ninth grade still in junior high. So you're in 9th grade and you're going to Fremont.
Yeah.
Football at Fremont.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now we get to it. So you start your 9th grade at Fremont. What was that like? So I was the same way. I was the 9th grade, junior high. I was at Fremont, but coming from Bret Hart, right? And not knowing my first year ever playing football ever. So I don't know the culture of high school football. Nobody telling me this, right? What was it like for you? Because for me, when I got there, it was like you got let me see, at this time, to be a junior, JT Lou Fishner are seniors, right? And it's like, one, they hella bigger than me, right? Then it's
True that.
I went through the JV hazing, right? Like varsity haze JV. I don't give a shit what nobody say. So I hated playing JV because we get leftover hand-me-down uniforms, varsity picking on us every day.
Well,
we didn't even get our names called at the pep rally like varsity do. Like this shit I hated JV, right? I hated JV, right? And I got into it varsity every day, right? What was it like you when you came on, and who was on varsity at the time, and who was on your JV team?
When I came on, it was different because we had 80 people on JV. Our JV was deep. We were 80 deep to start. Now, when I got there, I practiced in 8th grade. I was up there in the summers practicing. So it wasn't like I wasn't going to get no hazing. I got that hazing during that 8th grade summer because I couldn't play. So I was like, oh, well, you can't play right now. You can come up here and work out, but you can't play. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then
that's illegal as shit. That's hella illegal, but
right. So I was torn between, okay, do I go to Skyline? I was always headed to go to Mac because my mom stayed in the bottoms at the time. So I had been going to OAO games since '94. When I come back, I go to OAO games. I go watch the games. I've seen them all. So I'm like, oh, it was just something about going in that Fremont. Now, don't get me, they had some dogs. You had Fred was a sophomore on varsity, balling. And then you had Dewey was on the team, Delmas Lawson, D. Hardy.
So your freshman
Keon.
Your 9th grade year is Keon senior year.
Yeah.
Dewey them senior year. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their senior year.
And it's their senior year. So at that time, Fred was a junior. Sophomore. Fred was a junior. Josh was a sophomore. No. They're year apart. Yeah. Josh is
99.
Josh 99, Fred 98. So then you're 2000, right? Okay.
Right.
So this is Dewey and them senior year with all this is their best. This is the team that they lost to Mac in the playoffs.
Right. Now, mind you, you could see it that they were together, but they weren't together. Now, a lot of teams, Coach Denny preached cohesion, but a lot of teams, it was a lot of I guys. Oh, it's got to be me. It's got to be me. I. Like when I learned from early, if I got a young guy that's coming up, now mind you, I played varsity as a freshman. So if I got a young freshman, I know he's going to be a guy. When I'm gone, I'm not going to beat him down and talk bad to him, right? But you got that. That's what ended up happening. So it was like,
but T-Byrd.
No, it's not the hazing type talking bad. It's like you ain't shit. You ain't this. You ain't that. Like, hold on, brother. I'm on the team just like you. I understand you're up there, but when you were a freshman, you weren't on varsity. So
no, but T-Byrd, no. Let me say this though, because this is something my son dealing with at Sacred Heart, right? At Sacred Heart, they brought in a good freshman 2027 class, right? And it's not that if I'm a junior on that team on varsity, or I'm a sophomore on varsity, I'm looking at it as if next year you think you about to just come take my position because they brought you in with some hype, right? So the varsity gives them shit. I want to say they give them shit. It's still based on the love of the program, right? It's just how it goes. It's freshman. Who the fuck you think you is? Freshman, why are you taking your shirt off? Put your shirt on, freshman. That's normal behavior.
But you know me. I've never been the one. I never argue back with a coach. I've never not been the last person. I'm always the last person on the field. I'm always trying to finish first in drills and everything because I practice like that. So if I practice, I was learned at an early age. You practice how you gonna play.
But let me ask you
practice
something
at full speed.
How did you, out of the 80 kids that's on JV, right? And how did you make it to that varsity team as well as and not play JV with like Gino and them, right?
I did play with Gino.
So you played JV.
I played JV and got brought up.
Okay.
So the way I got brought up is I never limited myself to not doing anything. I could do everything. So when you at the jamboree, I was a field goal kicker and I played strong safety. I was the punter. I was the punter as well. But I was one of the best receivers. But I'm like, okay, we got 80 people. Let me just focus on playing defense because I know the best way to get on the field is by playing defense. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to play over Andre O'Neal. I'm not going to play over Delmas at all. Now, Kareem Toney was our guy on JV. He was the receiver. He was the guy. But when Kareem was asked to get brought up on varsity, he said no. And he's a sophomore. I'm like, where do you want to go up? I'm not going to play. You don't know that. But that's that.
He wasn't going to play.
Me,
he wasn't going to play.
Kareem, our JV team, Kareem was nice. I'm talking about they called nickname was Silk. That's what they called him. He was going crazy. That's how we beat Skyline. I punt the ball, and they get it on the 2-yard line. We get a safety, and then Kareem catches a ball over field grace in the fog, and we beat them 6-2. It was a game. Like that JV team, you had Gino played tight end. Now most people don't. At first, it was Theodis Robinson, my guy Theo. Then it was Jamar Richardson.
Okay.
Because Jamar was backing up Mario on varsity. They brought Jamar down.
Okay.
So they brought Jamar down. Tommy Perry was the starting tailback. Him and Rob Simmons was the tailback. Gino played tight end. So if Tommy doesn't tear his ACL week 1, we'll see what Tommy tears his ACL. Tommy had 260 yards against Galileo and was killing. Gino will tell you, he didn't come to play running back. It was supposed to be Tommy and Rob, but Rob fell in the doghouse, and that story was written. That's how that story goes.
Let me ask you this, right? So ultimately, you ended up at Mac, right?
Right.
Did you not come back after your 9th grade graduation? Did you not come back to Fremont because of the down talking from the varsity players? So you decided to go to Mac. How did you end up at Mac, and why you didn't come? I didn't come back to Fremont because I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know I was a baseball player. I was a good baseball player. We got all-stars during the summer. I'm a 9th grade. I don't know that y'all doing spring workouts and none of that stuff, right? So when I go my back first day out of practice, Coach Denny sees me and he like, hey, go talk to Coach O'Neal. I'm like, okay, let me go holler. What up, Coach? And Coach O'Neal like, man, Lo, you didn't come to none of these practices during the summer.
You got to go play JV.
You're going to be back on JV with me. I said, all right, Coach. All right, Coach. The very next day, I was at Tech. I'm gone. I'm cool. I'm not doing JV again. No, absolutely not. Which is cool because in my sophomore year that I don't go.
You went off.
I'm fucking all city first team as a sophomore. Like, hey, y'all about to try to set me up for the banana in the tail fight, right? But when you didn't go back, what was the reason you didn't go back and how you ended up at Mac and not any other school?
All right. So you remember around the time it was a clique called the Funk Mob, right?
All the East Oakland people.
All the Frick people. Wasn't all the East Oakland people.
Okay.
They started at Frick.
Okay.
I was one of the original guys in the Funk Mob. Now, what we used to do is we used to fight a lot.
Yeah,
I mean a lot. And we ended up having a riot outside our school with some grown dudes. And it got bad, right? I picked a guy up over my head, slammed him on his face, whatever, whatnot. Because I used to like to fight. That was my thing. I like to fight. I play sports and I fight, and I'm gonna talk crazy because I had a learning disability, and that's how I maxed my learning disability with my violence. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, now I'm looking at it, and I had an uncle, and my uncle Joseph, he's crazy, but he's used to take me on the MAC game. So we went to the MAC and Fremont championship basketball game, and I'm watching D Tuck and those guys play, and I'm like, damn, I could go play hoop because I was a hooper. I wanted to hoop. I'm gonna go to Mac play running back. I'm like, he's like, what you gonna do? You gonna stay at Fremont? And mind you, we had just lost in the mud to Ramin. And I'm looking like I'm on the sideline watching the play unfold. And they go spread it out, and Ramin takes off up the middle of the field, right? He shakes he pushes Fred off of him, and Dewey misses the tackle. Whiff. And Ramin's touchdown. So I'm looking at this like, dang, these Mac dudes, they talked all crazy on how Mac is weak, Mac is this, Mac is that. Then I look in the newspaper on signing day, and it's not Skyline on the cover of the newspaper. It's Coach Carter and 9 dudes. So I'm looking at it as a perspective like, I'm already in through the ROTC program because ROTC was through Frick for Mac. So I'm like, okay, talk to Sergeant Major Malone, like, hey, say, I can get you in, and you can run my battalion. All right, cool. That's it. I can get an A in that. I don't have to take gym because I really didn't mind taking gym, but I don't have to take gym. I take RLCC. I'm looking at it at the college perspective. I'm gonna get easy A there. Cool. And then I'm looking at all these guys signed, and not mind you, my cousin Jason Flowers, he was an all-city center. They call him Don King. I asked him about it. I said, man, what you think about Mac? He said, if you decided to go to Mac, it'd be the best decision you could make because they're gonna push you. Mind you, we only had 75 in the graduating class the year before I got there. So I'm like, okay, small classes, eight classes, I could do it, whatever. So I go up to Mac, and I went in the summer. They were doing passing league. I meet Coach Carter. That's the first time I met him. But he had who-rided on the whole Fremont team in the mud. And I'm like, oh, I got to play for that guy. He's crazy.
Let me hold on, but before I got to pause you, because we had a Mac guy on the show, and we had a Fremont guy on the show from that game you're talking about, right? Honest opinion, no bias right now, right? Do you believe Mac still beat Fremont if Fremont don't take Mac for granted and sit their starters, right? Because I don't think Jamario.
It wasn't. I don't think Jamario did play.
Well, DeAndre didn't play. DeAndre didn't play.
Well, if we're being honest, on the rules violation, Fremont shouldn't even been in that game anyway.
So we're going, okay, you're right about that because I remember that. Since we talked about that, we did talk about
if you have to forfeit every game that person plays, because Mac had to do it a few years back, they had to forfeit 4 games. We would end up playing Skyline instead of playing Mac in the playoffs.
Okay, but fuck the gray areas, right? Who you think? Do you think Mac wins that game if Fremont had all of their players, their full strength? Your opinion?
Yes, I think Mac beats him, and this is why. If it's dry, Fremont wins that game. But in the mud, and you got a quarterback that's 210 pounds and can run and can wiggle, and you got another runner, you got Dante Marsh back there too. And then your guys I only got to block 2 people. Remember, they only run right, run left, and you can't move how you want to move in the mud. So now it's that let me grind you out. And mind you, they got so even though you have D. Akins and those guys running the ball, but when you have a fast guy that's big and running the ball in the mud, it's a little different. It's like Mikey in the mud. You can't stop that. I don't care who you got out there because linebacker's going to have to break down and make the tackle, and the running back has the running quarterback and the running back, they have the advantage.
Okay. Now, okay, hold on. We skipped over something because I forgot to ask you with this plan and you're going from Fremont to Mac. Man, what was your actual welcome to the OAL moment, though?
My actual welcome to the OAL moment was, I'm going to say it was actually playing Castlemont. My first game on varsity playing Castlemont.
How many touchdowns you had?
I didn't have any.
Oh, what was
I was at Fremont.
Okay.
And I got hit by John Dillard.
JDO, okay.
John Dillard, I came down, and me and Mo Chairs, they get a kickoff, boom. And we coming down, we flying down. John Dillard sees Mo Chairs, turns this way. I tried to tackle, and John had the ball. I tried to tackle John. He blew me up and ran it back for a touchdown. That was my welcome OAL moment.
Got it.
And most people don't give John Dillard stayed at Castlemont, loyal to Castlemont. I don't know why, because he could play.
I mean, most of
So,
the council guys are loyal. Shout out to Ed Washington because he's trying to build back up. Most of the council guys are loyal. You got the people that Antoine Thomason. He could have went anywhere to go play baseball.
anywhere.
I personally feel he should have went to NSNL. They had the pipeline at the time, and you playing
Absolutely.
with Trail. You playing with Don Trail and all, and you got they just had things going coming from Jimmy Shamari, Antoine Rollins, then Don Trail.
Right. You get all those guys.
The other one, so Twan would have fit in perfect there as a baseball player, But the Castlemont guys, Castlemont are they're like Mac, right? They have a different, like you got the Mac family on the West Coast. Castlemont got the Deep B Stokeland narrative where they from the deep, So Lamar Murphy one leaving, Ferrari, Danielle, them guys that could have went and started on any other OEL team,
Right.
But they were loyal to Castlemont, man. So shout out to Jay Deal, man, and he's still pushing. We not seeing him, he helping kids out, right? So let me ask you this, and we get into this now, man. I want you to start off first, right? Because you saw a lot of football from '94 to even past, because you coached at Mac a little bit after you left, right?
Right.
Give me 3 players that, in your eyes, was underrated players in the OEL.
Well, Duke Reed.
Alvin, okay, shout out to Duke.
Michael Alexander. And Otis Garnett.
Otis Garnett from Mac, right? He's from Mac, right? Yeah. Let me ask you this. Shout out to them Bulldogs you just picked, Duke and Mike, right? So the thing with Mike, and I'm going to say, when we say overrated, I would say he was out of position for most of his thing. Mike was our D lineman.
He was a D tackle.
And he was my size. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And he had 17 sacks.
Yeah, but
as a D tackle.
But it's like you can't. I'm on the next level. I'm not evaluating you to be a D tackle, right?
But Michael's fast too, though.
And so here's the thing, right? His transition from D tackle to corner to defense, as you saw when we was at Laney together, he struggled, right? Because he spent 2 years on the D line.
On the D line.
At 165 pounds, right? So he was always out of position. We had a few guys on our team that was out of position. And that's when I say how Marshawn and them benefited from a different program, right? By time Marshawn and them got Tech, they get a veteran coach. The years we there, I get a first year, second year coach, right? It was Coach Edwards' first year, my first year there. His second year, then we go to the Silver Bowl. By the time they come, he's a veteran, 7 years in. You know what I'm saying? Like at 7 years, Coach Edwards not putting Mike Alexander on the D tackle. He's not. Right?
But Coach Edwards coached at Mac too, though.
Oh, did he?
He coached back at Mac when they beat Skyline the first time. He was at Mac.
What time? What are we talking about?
91, 92.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about as a head coach. As a head coach,
yeah.
So like when you got Beam and Skyline running a bunch of counters, all they doing as Mike shoot the gap, they just picking him off as they pull around and putting right in it, right?
But it's not the same thing, because Jamal Jones played D tackle and on the D line too.
That's the difference between Mike and Jamal. Was big. I went to school with Jamal. He's big. Mike is 150-pound D tackle. We had Q and what's the boy name? Oh, Nick Searcy. They was all my size, right? And then y'all know me in high school, I'm 140 pounds, right?
Right.
The D lineman, the struggle was him coming and needing to transition out of that to come play deep corner, safety, whatever he played when we was at Laney, right?
Right.
Duke, I'll give you Duke, a lion-hearted all the way, man.
He was a bullet. He was a bullet. Exactly.
He was a bullet, right?
And you wouldn't notice it because he's super humble.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna talk, but he gonna give you props though.
Okay.
He gonna keep it a stack with you, like, hey man, you was real, but we whipped y'all ass. That's how Duke is.
Okay. Now because you know a list, you got a list. Give me 3 players you would deem overrated when you play in the OAL.
David Bush.
Okay.
since I went back and watched a lot of the Skyline tape, I went back and watched a lot of it because Terry puts it up. So I say Dave Bush, Kareem Toney, and Chunga Steele.
Whoa, your teammate?
I have reasons why it's not personal, but I'm looking at apples to apples.
Oh,
I gotta
hold
hear
on,
the
T-Bird,
Kareem and
T-Bird,
Chunga.
stop.
I gotta hear the Kareem
Wait.
and
We gotta
Chunga.
dissect some shit, right? Because so I'm a little older, right? I'm a little older, and I heard a lot of you guys' names. I'm in college, right? I hear a lot of you guys' names, right? Chunga, Gaddafi, heard your name. Chunga, Gaddafi, your name, Terriel, Byrd. These are the names I used to see in the papers. Your name, Otis Washington. I remember seeing the name all the time. What made Chunga underrated? Chunga was a dog.
Okay, now, mind you, coming from JV, I think people who play Pop Warner as ninth graders are solely overrated. Because if you're playing Pop Warner as a ninth grader, you should be playing high school football. Because Pop Warner, most of the time, it's daddy ball, or it's the fastest guy out there. I'm just giving him the ball, let him run left, run right. Now, our junior year, Chunga was supposed to be the guy. Then Anthony Owens comes in, takes the spot. Chunga got a lot of carries, takes the spot. And Anthony goes first team all league. Now coming to senior is supposed to be Chunga's year, right? Coach Carter set us all down after our junior years and off season. If you want to get better, this is what you need to do. X, Y, and Z. He calls it going from sugar to shit. Now, what that means is when you first come into high school, you don't know no better. You're doing everything coach says. Then after that, you feel, oh, I'm good. I can do this. I can do that. And you're not going to work as hard. You're not going to do the extra. You're not going to go run no track. You're not going, I'm going to have hoop dreams. You're 5'5". You can't have, granted, you're a good hoop player, but you can't have hoop dreams. You're 5'5". You're trying to get out. Come run this track like everybody else and do this extra grind, and you can elevate yourself. Now, Gaddafi didn't start.
No. Are you saying he's overrated? I need to get to the field. Are you saying he's overrated because he didn't put in the work in the off season? What did the field look like?
The field looked like this. He's not an every down back. He's not your every down guy. He can't do it. It's all that. Now, how do you go from being a starter and the first two games you're not producing, and then you get your spot taken? And then the guy that was ineligible, he comes up and he gets it together. He's running sleds. He's doing the extra after hard practices. And in 6 games, Gaddafi rushed for almost 1,200 yards. Same amount of carries, same plays. Because the plays weren't catered to one person. It's the same plays.
But Gaddafi is like, Gaddafi can, recipe to Gaddafi. Gaddafi could have been a starter on a lot of teams.
No, Gaddafi couldn't have.
To Gaddafi, your senior year,
Our senior year.
Y'all senior year.
Senior year, Gaddafi didn't, the first game, he didn't come on. Remember, Gaddafi was ineligible most of the time.
Got it. Okay.
So you can't be the starter. He was at Skyline at first, too. You can't be the starter if you're not available. So if you're not available, you can't. And
now we go table Chunga, right?
I'm a big Chunga fan.
Let me tell you something, man.
I'm a Chunga fan. I'm a Chunga fan. But the real is real.
So let me tell you this: me and Ken do not want to start anything between the Mac family. We had a Mac episode, and something was said, and it went left with the Mac family, and that have nothing to do with me and Ken, right? But now,
we've had this conversation, and I can tell you this: I love Chunga. That's my brother. But if we're being real, we have to be real and call a spade a spade.
Yeah, and that's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, right. I mean, you see more than what we see because we're not at practice with you guys and stuff like that.
Exactly. It's more. Okay. It's more.
So you see more. I give you that. But now we got to go to Kareem Toney because you wasn't at practice with him for the rest of his high school career, right? So what made Kareem overrated to you?
Well, He's a one-trick pony.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
That means if you're playing football, and mind you, you play receiver and you play on the defensive side as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta play. Ken's playing on the defensive side as well,
Yeah,
right?
but I was shit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're doing what you need to do to help your team.
I did play.
There's an extra body that's athletic to help your team. Now, mind you, Kareem has some of the best hands, but now let's say, okay, like Ryan Fernandez, when put you at free safety, Kareem, and if it's thrown deep, go get it. We did it with Mo Washington. He would play free safety and wide receiver.
No. But that don't make him overrated. That just means,
in my opinion,
as a wide receiver, we talking from the wide receiver position. Like
we're talking about as a football player.
You overrating him as a.
But you punishing him.
Football player.
But you punishing Kareem for Fremont not having enough players.
They had plenty of players.
But if he was at any other, if he's at Monte Vista, they're not asking him to play defense.
That's not true.
No. But I'm talking about as a. Do you see him overrated as a wide receiver or as a football player?
As a football player.
Okay, then that happens. Okay.
Now, my opinion, Cedric Emerson was better.
As a football player or wide receiver?
As a wide receiver.
Okay. Did you see much of Said though, or did you going off the 1 year you saw Said because Said left and went to go play?
That 1 year I saw Said was ringing bells.
Okay, so
then,
the year
now Kareem had that good year his senior year, right? He had one good year. Ask him what
most guys only play 2 good years of varsity.
It doesn't matter. That makes you. Because some guys have played 3 good years of varsity.
And he played in a wing T system.
Then you should be over 1,200 yards if you're the only receiver out there.
How?
They're not throwing him the ball.
Kareem senior year.
And I love Mario to death, but he's a fucking corner at quarterback. Like, stop it.
Hold on. You think about it. Kareem senior year, he was number 2 in the East Bay in receiving yardage.
In the East Bay?
Out of a wing team. Yeah, him and Antoine were number 1, number 2.
In the OAL or the
OAL or East Bay?
East Bay. In the East Bay. Go look.
Byrd, I'm not about you're gonna have to fact check it. I'm not about to believe.
I'm telling you,
OAL
had more yards than Demetrius Williams.
Or Marcus Maxwell.
They did.
Like
I'm
Marcus
telling you, Kareem had 800 yards, something like that, receiving. Twan was almost. Twan had the year that year.
No, 800 yards is not leading the East Bay in receiving.
I'm telling you, he was number 1. It was either OAL or East Bay, but they were number 1.
I would believe OAL. East Bay is a little tough to believe.
No.
Because Ray Cleve had like 20. He threw for a lot of yards that year.
He did not throw for that many yards, Byrd. Hold on, we talking. Hold on, wait. I'm about to pull up some of the. Here go the all Metro.
I'm like 125 yards a game, and back then was like explosive. So to go for like 260, no way.
Twan made all Metro that year.
No, I got to pull it up right here. I got to put. Hold on 1 second. I got to pull it up because I want to see the receiver.
Kareem Toney. Yeah, why are you doing that? Kareem Toney is probably top 4 or 5 receivers I've ever thrown to.
Because you never threw to me, or you've never thrown to Lolo. Like you've never thrown to a lot of guys.
I have thrown to Lolo. Lolo's on the
what
list.
Would you rank Marvin or Kareem? Marvin Henderson or Kareem?
Oh man,
Marvin who?
Marvin is my brother, bro.
No, it's not even about being brother. Marvin Henderson or Kareem?
Marvin who?
Kareem, bro. Kareem ran even more than Lolo. I like the best route runner I've thrown to. Kareem Toney. Kareem Toney ran the crispest, most explosive out of a break, be where you need to be. Like no one ran better that I've thrown to. No one ran better routes than Kareem.
Okay, well,
you
didn't see Maurice Washington run.
No, I said that I threw to.
Oh, that you threw to, but
that I threw to.
But what I'm saying is, I've seen some great route runners. And don't get me wrong, he is top tier. But if you get physical with Kareem, he gonna punk out.
I'm not gonna say he's gonna punk out, but he's a little.
He's smaller. No, he's gonna punk out.
No, I didn't see that.
Trust me. If you go back and watch the Tech Fremont playoff game, the first game of that Tech and Fremont played, Kareem got busy, right? The second game, they beat Kareem up, and he was a no-show.
Yeah, so I will say this. I'm not going to say he would bitch out, but in high school, you do have to have a coach to teach you how to get off the jam. And Kareem is very small. So if no one's ever taught him how to get off the jam, I can see, somebody get up on the line of scrimmage and beat him up. I can see that happening 100%. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have heart.
Let me tell you something real quick. Hold on. Let me make a pivot because this is something you said online. Online, T-Byrd, something you said, so it's documented. It's in the comments.
It's public knowledge, right?
They say once you put some shit on the internet, it never goes away,
It
right?
never goes away.
Right.
One of the comments you said on the internet was you felt Ken was overrated.
I did. I felt Ken.
Why did
I felt
you didn't know
I
that
gotta
Ken?
hear this. All right, because
So,
I'm
hold
on the #1 underrated list. If you
I got
ask me.
Ken as being underrated when we talk about this. Like, so both of you guys earned scholarships to San Jose State, right?
No, I didn't get a scholarship.
Right.
I didn't get a scholarship. I
Oh,
walked
you didn't
on.
get a scholarship. You walked on, but you was
I'm
on.
gonna say why Ken slowly was overrated.
I gotta
Okay.
hear this.
Ken, why didn't you come to Mac? And we've had this conversation. No. I said, why you didn't come before? You said because y'all had Peanut at quarterback. This is an honest conversation, Ken. We've had this conversation.
You say that I didn't come to Mac because of Peanut?
You said that, not me. You said that.
Bro, I never said that.
You did. We had this conversation. I said, Ken, why you didn't come earlier? He said, well, y'all had Peanut at quarterback.
Come
I said,
earlier,
hold on,
win.
bro.
Come earlier, win. Win.
You were supposed to come to Mac.
After I was supposed to come to Mac. I think
After
my
Ramin?
11th grade. I think after my 11th grade year. Or after 10th, maybe after 10th or 11th.
After 10th grade. It was after 10th grade year. We had this conversation. I said, why you didn't come? Y'all had Peanut at quarterback. I said, because Coach Barber was your coach.
Yes.
And then he came over to Mac.
Yes.
So I'm like, why you didn't come with Coach Barber? Oh, y'all had Peanut at quarterback. And
Okay,
so when and I'm basing it off of this. I can't blame you for the competition you play. You're supposed to beat the competition you play if they're at that level you're playing.
but they didn't beat nobody.
Exactly.
But that's not saying that's not on the Ken. That's on the.
It's always on the quarterback. It's always on the quarterback.
I accept that. I accept that.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay,
Because
listen. Are we knocking Danielle, who played quarterback, because of what Castleman looked like? That's not a knock on Danielle.
Danielle's not a quarterback. He's not.
He was a quarterback in high school.
Out of necessity. Ken's a quarterback.
But here's you're missing the point, right? Mario was a quarterback in high school out of necessity, right? DeAndre Burke, all of that shit, right? But what I'm saying is, are we blaming Castlemont ineligibility at the end of the season? 10 people go fall off the team. Are we blaming all of their L's on a Danielle because he's the quarterback? In high school, I'm blaming it on the program more than who's the quarterback.
Well, Danielle did beat Mac, though. His senior year, he beat Mac. He beat Mac his senior year.
Oh, well. Okay. Hey, well, look.
Him, Keith Cordial, they beat Mac.
T-Byrd is entitled to his opinion.
Okay.
I mean,
and I do accept the quarterback has to take the blame. I do accept
on a team that haven't won in
doesn't matter
in years.
No, but you think about it. Think about this. Going a senior year, Ken, they're coming into the OAL undefeated.
Who?
Weren't you guys undefeated coming into OAL?
Oh yeah, no, we was 4-1. So this is what this is where if like let's say we not talking about me and it's not personal. This is where T-Byrd is saying this is where I agree with him. If Ken is so good, why wasn't he able to take his team to victory? That's what he's saying. And I agree with that. That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it. Let me say, I don't agree with it, but I understand what he's saying.
I disagree. The reason I'm gonna say why I disagree with it, right? I'm gonna say why I disagree with it. Because are we saying, right, when teams lose, let's say a team, I'm the quarterback, but we don't have no running game. My receiver would not even start on another team receiver list, right? I go to Oakland High or Castlemont, for goodness sake. Is that me being that good mean I'm supposed to win over them?
If you that good,
Not
he that
in,
good?
this is a one person. No, that is a team game. I'm bullshit.
Okay.
I'm with you, Lo. No, I'm with
now,
you. I'm with. Trust me, I'm
now,
with you. I was
now,
there,
mind you,
but I get what he's saying.
mind
I don't
you,
agree with it.
I hold Dante Campbell in high regard. That's my guy. I hold him in high regard.
Yeah.
He did everything on the field, did he not?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he could. If I'm coaching that team, I'm putting Dante at wide receiver, and I'm gonna feed him because he's a big body.
You don't
You're
think we
not
tried?
going to
You don't
be
think we
able to
tried that?
beat him.
You don't think we
You're
tried
not
that?
going to have nobody to block for him.
You don't think we tried
The
that?
quarterback got to have
Dude,
somebody to block for him.
my center was under 4. Like he was like 5'5", bro.
Then the
You
Terrence
don't think
Stitch play
we
on the O
tried
line.
putting Tay at
The
receiver?
Terrence Stitch play on the O line.
No.
No, listen, but
If I'm that coach, Terrence, you're gonna play on the O line.
You don't
I'm
think
putting
we
all my best
tried
athletes on.
that?
But
So what- look,
then that comes down to coaching.
But when we say overrated, I'm gonna give you an example of overrated, right? And I look, and he's number 1 on this list. No, he's number 2. The number 1 All Metro quarterback first team was Matt Gutierrez out of De La Salle. The number 2 was Robert Knox. Robert Knox threw for 1 billion yards that year, right? Robert Knox didn't even start over the backup quarterback at Skyline, which was Patrick Lane. So, I mean, that's what I consider overrated. That's an overrated.
I played with Robert Knox in the All-Star game and in spring at Laney. He wasn't better than
me. The thing is, it's based on Robert Knox's system. Robert Knox, I watched that Foothill game. They were literally one step throw. Mm-hmm. So, and they had decent players. They one step throw. The coach, and if you look at it, in high school, no quarterback looks backside. No quarterback does. They're not looking backside because they're not programmed to do that. Now you got quarterback coaches, but back when we were coming up, you had one read, tight end, wide receiver. I'll throw the backside on the last read, or I'm going to throw to the running back. It's mostly flood passes, right? And coming up in OAL, when we came up, name a team that threw the ball.
What do you mean?
Let me ask you a question. No, fuck that. Let me
in
ask you.
Our era, name a team who threw the ball.
Nobody.
Skyline. Occasionally.
No.
Okay. I mean, they were run heavy for sure, but they threw the ball. Ray Cleve threw the ball. Ray Cleve threw the ball.
Ray Cleve threw the ball 98 season. And Mac, we threw the ball. We threw the ball a lot.
I don't remember.
When I got there, we threw the ball a lot.
Not when I was there, Mac didn't throw the ball.
Yeah, Peanut was not airing it out, bro.
Peanut aired it. Maurice
now
Washington
when DeMonte came, it opened up a little bit more.
So me seeing from Mac, right? And
was I not the best quarterback our senior year in OAL to you?
No.
Who was better than me?
DeMonte.
All right.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say why.
Okay.
DeMonte came up through the system, so he came up, and as a sophomore, he lit it up.
Yeah.
He did.
Wait.
I don't think any coach would ever agree with that.
Let's table that. T-Bear, here go something for you, right? I want you to do this, right? You got from your time you stepped at Mac, which is when you got there,
sophomore year.
Your
senior year.
Okay, my senior. I'm gonna go back 1 year too. I'm gonna go back to Dante Marshall year, right? I'm gonna go Dante Marshall year. I want you from that time to, let's say, 02. Put together your starting secondary for McClymonds them years.
Ooh.
Yeah. Your starting secondary.
My starting secondary them years. So at corner, I'm going Mo Gaines at one corner. I'm gonna run a nickel set anyway. I'm gonna go Mo.
No.
You going dime and shit.
You run a 4-3 offense. You got 4 secondary players. You got a strong safety. You got your safety. You got the 4. Right? Don't try to add a nickel to bring an extra corner. No,
okay.
Spend the field out.
2 corners.
I'm taking Bot at free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking JJ at strong. I'm taking Mo Gaines and Dante Marsh.
You're not putting yourself on that list?
Absolutely not.
You're not putting. Okay. That's good.
And the reason why I tell you I'm not putting myself on the list because I learned a lot watching Mo Gaines on how to position myself to be in the pocket. I watched Dante do amazing things. You know what I'm saying? And those guys came back and showed me extra things I needed to learn as a corner. So I can't put myself ahead of those guys. I can't.
But there's no idols
They're the
become
blueprint.
rivals type thing. There's no idols can become rivals type thing because
You can't. You can't have idols become rivals because even though Mo only played 1 year at Mac, he was cream of the crop. He had a great year. 7 picks.
But I don't think. I think, in my opinion, I think Brandon Smith was better than. I think Brandon was better than Maurice Gaines. I think.
I mean,
I think Rick Laugh was better than JJ.
Rick Labb was a corner though. JJ played safety.
Oh, well, I think Rick Laugh was better than Maurice Gaines.
I mean, you can say that, but
No. JJ.
it's
No.
just
Rick
based
Laugh,
on what I see.
hold on. Who was the two corners for that team with Bachman on it? Who were the two
It
corners?
was Emery and Rick Labb.
Emery and Rick Laugh. What did Dante play?
Dante played strong safety.
Then why are you moving Dante to corner then if he was a strong safety? No, we talking about that year at McClymonds.
But if I'm putting the secondary how I want to put it, I'm putting Dante at corner.
No, but we put them based on the positions they play in high school.
Okay. Based on the position they played, then yeah, I'll put Dante
at McClymonds.
That I saw at Mac. I'm putting Dante at free. And definitely Brandon Smith. Brandon Smith, definitely.
Okay.
Because Brandon Smith, I knew Brandon Smith was a dog because you got to mind you, when we're at Mac and we're playing, we're getting ready, our JV is getting ready just as hard. And they're full out scrimmage. We got kicked out of practice. Our varsity got kicked out of practice because the JV was kicking our butt at the time. And we don't want to take it light on them. No, they was hitting us in the mouth.
Okay.
Like legitly hitting us in the mouth. And Brandon Smith, he was like, I'm gonna guard T-Byrd all the practice. So I was the guy my senior year. I was the guy when I walked on the campus. Because I came in, okay, I want to play running back. And then when I get to summer practices, we got 13 running backs. Coach after the first day, coach like, hey, go over there and play receiver. Okay. Now, mind you, on that secondary, my sophomore year, the whole secondary got D1 scholarships. Okay. Trandon Hawkins, Mo Gaines, Lopez, Ramin, they all got D1 scholarships. And
you must didn't see Tyrone Henderson play.
I did see Tyrone Henderson play.
He's got to be in that secondary.
Okay, but no. That's T-Byrd list. Okay, that's your MAC secondary, right? Now I want you to do this. I want you to see how hard it is for us when we come up with it. So you see some of the people you left off that list, right? You left Darnell off. You left Tyrone off. So out of your secondary, so you get to see how hard it is, right? Now here we go with this one, right? Now you have I'm gonna give you from the time you got there. We're gonna use the same time frame, right? I'm gonna give you a spread formation. You the coach. Spread formation. Mm-hmm. You got your 4 receivers. What 4 are you going with?
Outside, I'm putting Mo Washington.
Okay.
On the other outside, I'm putting David Gray. I'm putting Antoine Smith, which people don't really talk about. Antoine. He was the other guy opposite D. Gray. And I'm putting myself in the other slot.
T-Byrd, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm going to tell you why.
At Mac?
No.
Yeah, just at Mac.
No. I was talking about the OEL period. The OEL
in the OEL period.
I never heard.
I thought you said just at Mac.
Even with Antoine Smith, even if you put Antoine Smith, it's like I was there with, like, I would have put Felton Charles somewhere on there, right?
Yeah.
I would have put Felton, if I was just going at Mac, I would have put Felton Charles somewhere on there. I would have put Felton Charles in the slot. I would have put Jody in the slot, right? All the other things, right? I'm talking about OEL altogether. Because you know all the receivers. I need you to see how hard it is to come with the list. So you got your 4 receivers. I'm giving you 5. You can have 1 receiver coming off the bench, but I'm giving you your 4 spread receivers in the OAL from them time frames.
Let's see, my time frame. Okay, mm-hmm. I'm going Mo Washington still.
Okay.
I'm going to put David Gray on the other outside. Because 2 big bodies. In the slot, I'm going Eugene Jones. I'm putting Rufus in another slot. And then I'm going to go Marvin Henderson as like the H-back tight end spot.
Can't go wrong with that. I mean,
Um,
some other
I
guys.
could debate it if I
but,
felt like
yeah.
debating it. Like
It's a solid list, though.
But what you put, there's a good one. Shout out to Eugene. You put Eugene Jones there, right? And on top of putting Eugene Jones there, you put Eugene Jones there, and you, as a DB, shut him down, right?
Right.
Shut him down, right? Had him on lock. Why would you put somebody out there that you had on lock as a receiver and not put Antoine Smith or
I shut him down too.
Kareem Toney, right?
Antoine Smith had one catch for -3 yards.
What they gave him, a bubble? What was the route?
It was a bubble screen, and they threw to him.
Okay, so
he couldn't touch. He couldn't do nothing.
But then you said these receivers 1 and 2 in the East Bay. Why you didn't have Kareem in the slot? He run good routes. He's short. Why he's not in the slot?
Because if I'm putting a slot receiver out there, I need somebody that's going to stretch that linebacker and get and make him commit.
What do you
Kareem's
mean?
just going to hook up. That's like when you put you in the slot. When we played Atlanta, when we ran 43, they're going to jump on you automatically and leave the backside wide open because you're so fast. They're game planning for you. You don't have to game plan for a Kareem. Okay, I'm going to put my best guy on him, and it's just going to be a dogfight. You don't have to game plan for that.
I've seen a lot of coaches do that in junior college, and it didn't work out.
Kareem torched us at Laney.
It didn't work out so well. But he's talking about that Mac. Maybe he gotten better.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just like, it's not.
At DVC, Kareem was the man.
It's not
because he had gotten to his grown man streak. He's an adult now. Okay, let me get myself
coaching
where I need to. Exactly. You get a receiver coach. We didn't have receiver coaches.
Right.
Eddie Turner was my receiver coach.
I didn't have a
family. You know, it's crazy. In all of high school, I didn't have a cornerback coach. I didn't.
I believe that.
I learned it from the guys that came back and showed me what I need to learn. And then I'm like, okay, now you got to mind you, going into my senior year passing week, I had 9 picks in 3 games. And they were like, and all the coaches were like, oh, no. Even
nigga, why Miami didn't come calling
you? No, because you don't get recruited off passing league.
No, but I'm saying you shut down the number 1 and number 2 East Bay. You shut down
years.
I gave up 1 touchdown to Kareem caught a touchdown on the broken play. It was 5 seconds. I can't guard nobody 5 seconds. I gave up 3 catches my junior year, 3 total catches all season. And man, in my senior year, then nobody throw at me.
So you gave up 3 catches in a 2-year span.
Yeah.
3
and
catches.
Nobody ever threw a pass your way your senior year.
My senior year, I had Willie Dixon, and they ran 5 wide, so you can't play man in 5 wide. We're in spread. They're throwing him underneath. Then when we locked up and played man against him, they threw him the ball. He didn't touch it.
Are you saying people walked onto the field, got under the center, and was like, "Don't throw to that guy"?
I found this out a couple of days. I was talking to Leonard Jackson. He said, "Coach, I can beat him." And he said, "Coach Beam said, don't not throw it over there at Terriel." Because of what I did my junior year. Lynn, you can ask Lynn, Lynn Jackson. Mm-hmm. He told me this the other day. He's like, yeah, senior year, Gene got hurt. Glenn was the guy. Coach, I can beat him. And Coach Beam said, do not throw it over there is that way. Because every year at Mac that I played at Mac, at halftime, we were either down 2 points or tied with Skyline. And my senior year, it was 8-6 at halftime.
You said every year you played, every year you was at Mac?
At Mac, at halftime, we were either tied or we're down by 2 points.
Yeah, the senior year they did play Skyline really tough.
Even at Skyline 9018, that
Skyline 9018, it was 14. It was 14-14 at halftime.
And then they just ran away from y'all.
We
was winning at halftime.
What they did my senior year, we shut Humphrey down. They couldn't run the ball. Shut that down. They put Lyle Coleman in the backfield and pounded us. And I'm talking about pounded us.
No, Lyle was.
And that 99 season team only allowed 1 offensive touchdown in the OEL that year. And there's some history for you. The only person to score on that team was me.
Oh, we knew that already.
I was the only person that scored on that defense.
So I'm gonna go. If I go the reason I'm saying. So when I'm looking at corners and I'm looking at when I'm gonna give some people they top, and this shout out, this is why I put Dominique Shaw over a lot of people.
Oh, he was a dog.
Dominique Shaw played bump and run coverage. I never saw the shit in Dominique Shaw and Jay Charlotte played bump and run coverage in high school, right? They didn't play off. They didn't play none of this.
No. Dominique Shaw played off.
I'm when I played, he played me bump and run coverage. Bump and run coverage. Nobody else. He had help over top, but he played bump and run coverage. Maurice Gaines played 9-10 yards off.
No, you beat Maurice. Maurice, the touchdown you caught your senior year, the touchdown you caught.
He was off me. He wasn't in my face. He's playing off. Me and Maurice.
And you, the reason why I say I'm on that list at receiver, when I came to Mac, and when I moved to receiver, when your quarterback comes to, because I played JV the first couple of games, when your quarterback comes to the JV game and tells the coach, I want him playing receiver for me, that means you got something, right? Ramin did that? Ramin came to the San Ramon Valley game. We couldn't run the ball. We had Changa, we had Jamil, we had Gaddafi. We could not run the ball. I went crazy. I had like almost 300 because we had one pass play on JV. Throw the fade to Terriel. And I went crazy.
Who else was on that JV team? Who else was on that JV team?
On that JV team, it was Changa, me, Gaddafi, Jamil, Linnell Dyson, Peanut. A lot of guys, a lot of I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying. Hey, let me ask you this, right? Because we got to speed it up because my job is texting me right now. Hey, let's get to this San Jose State thing, right? So coming out of high school, you commit to San Jose State, right?
Right.
Then I know you ended up, when I played, I'm at Laney, right? We're at Laney together, right? What happened with the San Jose State thing and how did that turn out?
Well, like I said, I had learning disability. So I didn't understand that I had test anxiety, which a lot of people have. I had test anxiety. So when I would take my SAT, not knowing if I didn't know the question, I didn't have no SAT prep. You don't know the question, don't answer it. I didn't know that back then. So I'm trying to answer every question. I missed my SAT by 10 points. So it's like, now I got a kid. What do? I went to the military.
Oh, you had a kid at that age?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had a kid. I went to the military. I come back home, got into a little issue in the military, come back home, and I'm a year removed from football. And when you were a year removed from football and doing all the cuts and the breaks, everything, okay, I'm gonna go play. And that's how I end up at Laney. And now, mind you, when I come to Laney, I'm coming in with all the incoming freshmen practicing. I'm like, I can play receiver. I should have just went and played DB like I was going to San Jose State for. Should have went to play DB. Now, if I go play DB all summer and then coming in the fall, I start opposite of Mario. I know that for a fact I started opposite of Mario. But since when I moved over from playing receiver to playing, because Coach Gerard set me down and said, hey, we got 9 receivers. You're like number 8. I had to do number respect that. Okay, I'm going to go play defense.
Do you feel you was better than any of the receivers that were there?
At the time, no, I wasn't. Because you guys are a year or two into the program. You know all the plays, you know the checks, you know what you need to do. And being in those meeting rooms and knowing the playbook, that you have to know that stuff. Like, that's why I tell people the smartest player is going to play. I don't care how good you are. If you're the smartest player, tell my players all the time, if you're the smartest player is going to play. Granted, if I'm teaching the plays and you're not grasping or retaining information, then I can't do anything for you, because that tells me how you are in the classroom. So smartest players got to play.
Absolutely. Okay. Let me ask you this. So go over to DB, right? Did you make that? I don't remember. Do you recall? Did you make that switch before the fall practice camp, or did you make it after we already enrolled in the fall camp?
It was after the Berman run.
After the who?
After you miss a practice, you got to run that Berman.
Okay, yeah.
So after we had that scrimmage at what was that? Out there in
Modesto. We scrimmaged
Modesto. I had moved to corner the week before we scrimmaged Modesto. So after the inter squad scrimmage, I moved to corner.
Got it.
And I'm like, I talked to Ooch. I said, let me get a playbook. He said, you got to ask your teammates for the playbook. Now you know how that goes. Laney, we weren't really a team. So hey man, I can't give you the playbook because now, well, I already know what you was, and if you learn the plays, then you were the fastest on the team, but I was right there with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna run right behind Low. Low's
Not
faster
at
than me
that.
because
No, no, not at that time. T. Bird
yeah,
wasn't
at that time
Jay, Stallworth was fast. He was one of the fastest on the
he
team.
wasn't faster than you.
And no, he wasn't faster than me, but Starworth and Jarrell Hardy. Jarrell Hardy had ended up getting fast. Jarrell Hardy was fast. Jarrell Hardy was right there, like motherfucker was like almost neck and neck with me right then and there.
Yeah, but see, I would never race anybody because it's like before, ain't no point. I know what I can do when running. And Mario say Mario had never beat me in a race, and then he's like, what happened? And I jumped out of an airplane in the military, messed my knees up, so I can't move how I want to move no more. So
do you think you would if not healthy? I mean healthy, whatever. Do you think you would have started? Who was our corner? P40. You think you start over P40?
absolutely. The reason why is I like P40's game, but if you go look at those tapes, he was the weak link on that Skyline defense. We're gonna throw it right at him.
But do you feel he was the weak? Do you feel he was the weak link on our defense? Because he didn't give up that many plays, though.
He didn't give up that many plays, but on that defense,
like he wasn't the weak. To me, I'm gonna be damn. I hate to throw my dog.
I had like 200 in the first half.
Who's the weak link? Ken, who was you gunning for, Ken?
He was going for P40.
Throw away from Mario. That's all I knew. And I wasn't even throwing away from Mario going into the game, but like during the game, it was quite obvious. Like, okay, this dude is on another level. Let's go over here. But the safeties in the other corner.
But here's the thing, right? When I don't want to throw anybody in the bus. Yeah. Jamal Polk Polk was giving it up that season, right? Jamal Polk giving it up that season.
Jamal Polk had more interceptions than everybody that season too.
Dude, that don't mean you ain't giving up a lot.
Yeah.
That could just mean the ball going over there a lot.
Early in the season, Jamal Polk was balling, but then
Polk gave up the game winner against
Fresno. He gave up the game winner
for a game winner. Like you not like that.
Hey, yeah, but we can't forget about the play and how they got the ball.
No, that's not
Tyree fumble. That's how they got the ball.
But
you merged and told me that story a million times.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If other than Nick Shaw and Humphrey Garrett, and this is just me being solid, when I played 98, 99, 2000, if you played corner first in the secondary at Skyline, you were overrated. Because when you have a D line like that and those linebackers, and all you have to do is sit at 12 yards and wait for the ball, you're not really playing football.
Yeah,
Humphrey come up late, boom.
We got to stop calling all the Skyline guys overrated, man.
I'm not calling all their guys overrated.
No, listen. Gino called the whole running back overrated because of the O-line, right? Gino called every running back overrated, right? Now you call every DB overrated because of the linebackers in the deep.
Let me ask you this. Outside of the front seven, who has really made noise after high school?
After high school?
No, I'm asking Lolo.
What do you mean? Like after high school? That's like
so all these dudes.
Okay,
all these dudes in the secondary. No. I'm so to Gino and Byrd's point. All these dudes get this pub in high school, but once you get after high school, who really making noise out in the secondary?
I mean, but listen, are we saying because they didn't make noise in college, because they didn't make noise, then they go pros? Are we saying
no?
Who made any noise after high school?
So are we saying like Brandon Sanders started as a freshman?
Okay, that's one.
So we got B. Sanders starting as a freshman.
That's one.
Mike Norris.
That's two.
Mike Norris.
And Joe Bates.
Who?
Joe Bates, but he's after us.
Joe Bates. So,
but he's after us though. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm thinking closer to like 2000.
I mean, but here's the thing, right? Now we got to go. It goes even deeper than that, right? We're not saying like we can go and say, okay, Nick Shaw went to UW and all of this shit, and he didn't do nothing at UW.
But he went to UW.
Also did bring in five.
But he went to UW, and he was. But I can play corner. Like I can play corner if I have Omar Nazell,
Garrett Wilkinson,
George
Benson.
Who's the dude that went to Columbia?
Jerry,
Uh,
Jerry,
Jerry
Jerry-
Bailey, Jerry Bailey,
okay. Now,
Darius Wilkerson, Kurt Johnson, Jamal Jones. Like, come on, bro. I could play corner.
Hey, are we really calling all?
no, you think about it like this. Think about it like this. And you've played against it. It's the difference when you got to put. And I'm gonna say this, and make more sense to you. If I'm playing a MAC team, you know what you're gonna see, right? Hey, they're gonna have a bunch of speed and they're gonna get in your face and play and the corners are gonna press you or try to press you, and because they're gonna blitz the whole time, but they're playing press man. You can't play for Zoe if you don't know how to play press man. That's just the fact. If you're playing a Skyline team and Coach Peters, that was the DB coach, he said, "Oh, when we play MAC, we're running quarters the whole game," because even Nick Shaw played off and still got lit up for 200 against Mo Washington and three touchdowns.
Man, I gotta see the film on that, T-Bird.
I'm telling you, the year we had to fight, the first game, Eugene catches the touchdown on the backside post. I said, "Here come the post." Our safety steps up, touchdown. On the other side, I had a pick.
Who are you guarding?
My assignment that week was Deontay Taylor.
Okay.
And then he got taken out after like this fourth play in the second quarter because he was getting punched in his chest and complaining to his coach.
I'm trying to figure out what made it to where, and I'm not disputing it. I just want to see it in paper. Like somebody going off for 200 plus yards against Skyline defense in that time frame. If they do have the O line and these D line people we talking about, how did the ball keep getting off? How the fuck they go for 200 plus yards, 3 touchdowns?
Well, Mo Washington's 4-3.
What does that mean?
Like he was eating up cushion in the first 3 steps, and then from there it's a foot race, and then Peanut just throwing the ball up and Mo coming down with it on Nick Shaw, and then Nick Shaw had 2 picks. Don't get me wrong, he had 2 picks, but 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, a little different.
So why did you just give? So here's the thing, right? If the play is drop back, throw the ball deep to Mo Wash, that as a quarterback, that doesn't make you better than Ken. You just
no, I didn't. Peanut was the quarterback. I didn't say Peanut was better than Ken. I never said that.
No, he said DeMonte.
But for the game
DeMonte. I'm sorry, DeMonte. I'm tripping. DeMonte.
I don't even think DeMonte was able.
No. I take that back. Who would drop back and throwing it up? Peanut.
Yeah.
But you said Ken said he not coming to Mac because of Peanut,
which I never said.
Exactly. Yeah. Come on, Ken.
I don't see that being a thing, right? I don't see that being a thing, right?
It's not a thing.
T-Bird, what made you stop playing it? Because we got to wrap it up. What made you stop playing and hang it up?
I hurt my neck playing semi-pro ball. So we had fresh off a national championship, won national championship, went 18-1, and we had probably the best semi-pro team ever assembled.
What team was this?
Davie City Renegades. It got so bad that we had to change our name because nobody wanted to play us.
What y'all change it to?
We changed it to the Pacific Islanders.
Okay, the Islanders really good team. Okay.
So we were 18-1. National championship game, I have 18 tackles. Boom. I come back and I make a hit and I messed up my vertebrae in my neck. So it's like, okay, can't do this no more. Stop playing. Then I moved to Vegas and I played one more season when me and Gino played together and won the championship. And after that, it was like, I don't need to do this no more. It's done. I've done everything I can do. I'm just go getting it. I'll still coaching, but it's like I'm done everything I can do.
So here's my fear of why I played a half a season of semi-pro. One, I'm not as a grown man, I'm not playing football for free. Out of the question, right? I don't think I liked football. I loved football. I wasn't passionate about football to play the shit for free. You know what I'm saying? So I remember at this time, I'm on a weight and shit, and it slowed me down, right? So I got bigger, but I slowed down. And we were on kickoff, and they put me on the wedge. Nigga, I ain't never played the wedge in my life, right? And there is literally grown men are wedge busters. So you want me to grown man and block with somebody? And I remember I just had Prince. Prince was like, No, Pete might have been pregnant with Prince, whatever, right? And I literally said, "Hey, well, what are you doing?" The next day, I'm sore. I'm all it is, and I'm doing it for free. I'm not
But
doing
you got
it.
to think about it. You got to think about it though. When I played semi-pro, I was 22.
I was 20. I was 20. I
Now,
was
now,
20. I was 29. I was 28, 29.
now, on my team, my boy Obi, you know Obi,
Uh,
he went crazy. He came into his own football wise, 1,000 yard receiver, doing everything. And after that, it was like, okay, now do I keep playing? Now we didn't have to pay to play or anything like that, but we got incentives. It was like Bounty Gate. Biggest hit's gonna get paid, get some money. You get an interception, you get $100. That's how it was. So we didn't have to pay for anything. They provided everything.
yeah,
We was
but
doing all right.
that's still that's still high risk, low rewards, right?
It depends. We had a
And
team doctor and everything, and if you got hurt, you can go see the team doctor for free. All that. So it was.
T
They
Bird,
ran a program.
T Bird,
They
you
ran a
messed up
program.
you messed up the vertebrae in your neck. Like that's not that's high risk right there to me, right? And you might have more passion for the sport of football than me. I didn't have the passion to want to keep doing something like that for free. Like I played flag football with Ken. What the furthest I've started doing after that. Well, let's play flag football. We can do that, right? It can't risk the injury of it, man. But T Bird, man, we want to thank for this interview, man. T Bird, I'm gonna let you do one thing before we get out of here, right? Give me your top. T Bird, you said a lot of stuff, right? Give me
Right.
top. No, this ain't even no shit talk. Give me your top receivers you would have wanted to guard that you didn't get a chance to guard. Give me three, because you saw the lead. You saw David Gray, but you have one to line up against David Gray, or even
Let's see. Ooh, that's a good one. I would have wanted to line up against Ryan Fernandez. I would have wanted to line up against you in high school because we had that argument.
You would have got Maurice
You
Washington
keep think
stats,
you think that
200 yards.
you think that
T Bird,
you
I
think
gave you
that.
them type of stats in practice, T Bird. Like
Yeah, but you got to understand, Lo. You was mad older than me
I'm
when we
not
was
mad
at
older
Lehman.
than you. You might
2
think that.
years,
How
a
old are
year
you,
or
T
two.
Bird?
I just made 42.
I'm 43.
Okay, so
I'm mad older than you.
okay, so I say you, Mo Gain, you, Ryan Fernandez, and Delmas Lawson. Because
Okay, Delman's nasty. I'll give you Delman's. Okay.
I guarded him once in practice. And he.
Hey, time out real quick. Do you niggas think I'm hella old or something?
I mean, you and Mario. I thought you was hella old. I
Nah,
ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm 43. You're 42. Like, what are we saying, right? Mario
Right.
older than me. Mario older than me.
Okay.
Mario's older than me. Yeah, I'm not hella old like that. Like a dude called me, nigga called me right on thanks OG the other day, and I'm like, nigga, do I look OG-ish? Like, let me go. I need to go drop 10 real quick. I ain't about to be looking OG-ish out here, bro.
I was OG when I was
Think
31.
about it like this.
But I gotta wrap this up, fellas, man. I got my job. They've been hitting me on my line, man. I've been ignoring them, man. So I gotta wrap it up. T Bird, thanks for showing up, man, and being our first guest or our first episode of season 4, man. We appreciate the support that you do gives us, man, and watching the show, man. All the comments and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you like this though. We gonna post just that clip alone. If you we gonna be we go Vlad TV it, and we only go post a clip of you saying Chunky is overrated, right? And that shit's gonna
You got
go
to do what you got to do
crazy.
what you got to do. But when you think, and we had this conversation, Chungus swears that the Vitals were scared of him on the field, and you can ask him this. Oh, they feared me, and I'm like, you sound crazy.
It's a delusion. It's delusion in the water at Mac, I see.
Well, it's a lot of speed in the motor at Mac too, though. So
a lot of speed.
But like I said, I love Chunga. Chunga's my brother, but to me, from where his mindset is, I feel he was overrated.
No, you're entitled to your opinion.
All right, absolutely, you are, and we're gonna respect it. But I got to roll, fellas, man. Ken, you can sign us off, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for another episode, man. It was great. Leland Lemons, I love you to death, brother, but I never didn't come to Mac because you was at quarterback. I love you to death, and I believe I was first team all AL that year. So with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely follow us on Instagram at the Rec Center Podcast. And go ahead and please subscribe right below this video. Thank you, Terriel Byrd Smith, for coming on. For Lorenzo Parham, I'm Kenny Edwards. We out.
Yeah, bro.